Started because there's a lot to go over in the book of Genesis, chapter 31. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times, but God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring-straked shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring-straked. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled, for I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Paddan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with song, with tabring, and with harp? And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid. For I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew that not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. God hath seen mine affliction, and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children, which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, and I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jagar-Sahudatha, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead in Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place. Okay, a lot just happened, right? So a little bit of sinus issues today, but so a lot just happened, right? Jacob had been away, because part of the reason why he was away, because he received the blessing of his father Isaac. Remember, Esau and Jacob were twins. Even though Esau was the firstborn, Jacob ended up with the blessing, and so there was an issue there. So he ended up fleeing away eventually, and now he's in this land, and he is with these people, and he again was infatuated with a woman named Rachel. And lo and behold, that was part of their extended family. So what has happened now. That he went to work for Laban for 7 years for his daughter Rachel. So this quick review over even the previous Bible study and then now what we're reading. And so he worked those 7 years, but instead he ended up with Leah because he overnight he didn't know who was coming in. And go back to the previous Bible study, you can hear all about it. And then so he worked another 7 years for Rachel and was given both. So both were his wives. Now, come time, they started having children. And this is where we get the 12 tribes of Israel. Hint, hint, or answer giveaway. And so now is the time where he's getting ready. He's departing. He's noticed that Laban is no longer treating him in kind. He's treating him like he's jealous, of course, and like there's, a problem, even though he's been working for this long. And listen to what Jacob says. It's just he sees it and he understands it. And Jacob beheld the countenance. This is 31:2. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. So Jacob took notice. He took notice all over all these years. He was working for things and doing what he was asked to do from Laban and fulfilling them. And not only fulfilling them, but being blessed, blessing him, blessing Laban, blessing his own family, and starting up his own family and starting to gain things himself. But he also had it in his mind, and you can go back in the previous Bible study, to do certain things during the time of the flocks when they were whatever he was watching over, to see how they would produce more flock. So he had it in his mind to do certain things, and now we find out through the angel of the Lord that there was a reason for the reed and for the thing. Go back to the previous Bible study again, right before this one, and you hear all about it. And on to 31, where he says, 11, and the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. So, what happened? Bringing past to present. Let's talk about it. Jacob had an idea. He executed the idea because he thought, this is correct. I need to do these things, put these reeds in front of the stream where they're mating, and there's a reason for this. I think this will make the flock stronger. Lo and behold, there was something, happening, and the angel of the Lord revealed it to him. So sometimes in life we get ideas, and they could be crazy, they could be insane, we don't understand what they are or where. I urge you to go to the Lord and pray about them, because they could be something from above. All good things come from above, including wisdom. And that wisdom is that step towards the accomplishment, towards the goal in life. So think about that. Think about, okay, I was able to do something, but where did that wisdom actually come from? Where did that come from? I get it. It comes from the Lord. Let's give him praise. Let's give him glory and honor as he is just due. And because without him, we can't accomplish. We are sheep. We are just like what Jacob was looking over, the sheep. So is he, as we'll learn. But he's going to be utilized as a leader. And as we continue to read and see just how far and just how much the Lord does utilize them. And you see by doing those things, by hearing the wisdom, having the idea, praying to the Lord, saying, hey, I think this is from you. Bless the wisdom that I received. And following through, wow, look at the results. The results are amazing. The results are amazing, and they're blessed. They are correct. They are right. They are just, and they are on time. So think about that in life, whatever it may be, whatever you're going through, because life is tough. I know this. We know this. Witness right here. Life is tough. But we have an everlasting love. We have a Lord God, our Savior, Emmanuel, who loves us so much that he's right here with us. And he is wanting to help us along the way. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?